Domestic automechanical routines. Let's look into the logs and look into their recent activity. Event ID Event ID 37727, and then the rest of these I'm not even gonna bother with. User Ambrose attempted to log into the system, final attempt failed, lock-in terminal for 5 days, and that had happened for the 2 days prior, I imagine, or at least 2 attempts prior. Then there's an omission of about 34,000 logs. And then user Ambrose activate dinner time protocol. Meal was woolly loaf rather. Ambrose activated a dinner time protocol. It was triple salad, and then Ambrose for Borst roast as well. Corruption detected in earlier logs, omitting corrupted entries. So this, to me, like woolly loaf, triple kale salad, Borst roast, and 2 different people ordering them, possibly day after day. That seems to me like this was an idyllic kind of environment for a childhood, but then something happened, right? That's what this is going for. By the way, I blame Raps for ruining my weekends, since the Downfall series isn't on weekends, but I forgive him for putting out the Sneaky Teak streak on Saturday. Usually there would also be the draft champions the day after as well, but obviously Alexa, his last week has been extremely busy. The week before was with Spelunky, and then last week obviously with the hacking, so we just unfortunately haven't had the ability to record that. All right, pantry list. Pantry stock. Last automated check was error, null, date define. Salt tuna fillet, stock is spoiled, please replenish. Same for the woolly cow steak, as well as the mock apples. Boston beans, 13 cans, and mock apple shake, 9 bottles remaining. So this option is hack 150, activate dinner time protocol. I probably can't get my hack to 150. But I do have the kitchen keycard. Alright. Take a pancake mix. Got to go back to the inventory and log that we've taken that. 2 boss pockets, as well as some glacier water. Iceberg aged whiskey and rum and something, as well as some woolly fillet. Okay. So obviously people still live here. Because woolly fillet is a meat stuff. So it would have spoiled were it left out. And these are the kinds of things that, like, you know, another developer of a kind of post-apocalyptic kind of styled game may not have thought of. Leaving fresh food in places that everyone says have been abandoned forever. But Obsidian does tend to think of those things. Service hutch?
I had a nightmare about this sort of thing once. Crawling around on my hands and knees inside a mansion, I mean.
Oh my law, this is just like that episode of Virginia Yang, Girl Detective, where the old fella dies and his nurse inherits his house. What if we find a body?
I love you too. Best characters. Alright. Finery. Random finery as well. Seems to be someone's office. A music box. I can't even hack this one. We've found a chest that is above our ability. The log said it's spoiled. Yes, but the item itself wasn't spoiled. The log was probably not logging that stuff because that wasn't in the pantry. It was in the kitchen. Extender site, Mr. Power, music box. I mean, none of those are desperately essential for us. Corporation Service Award. Total of 5 of those. So it's a master bedroom key card. This cabinet has a ring in it. Let's see if there's an inscription or anything on that ring. I think it'll probably just be generic, but just in absolute case. Where'd the ring go? Oh! Oh, it went to junk. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Get a backpack and then read the terminal of Olivia Ambrose. Along that wilderness of grass, no swelling tell that may winds be. Hang on. Let's try this again. Along that wilderness of grass, no swellings tell that winds may be. Upon some far-off happier sea, no heaving hints that winds have been, on seas less hideously serene. EAP. All right, let's try and log in as Olivia. Oh, sweet. Just no password access whatsoever. Much appreciated. Let's go for the log entry from the furthest far back. So we'll go for February 1st, 2324. Oh, God. All right. We're playing an RPG, and I want to do voices. So if anyone would like to suggest a voice, we will go through these logs as that voice. Starscream? I do not know Starscream. Is Starscream silent? Is that a Starscream silent thing? Can't speak? Reading Rizo's voice? I do not have a handle on Rizo's accent at all, even slightly. Generic robotic log reader. Okay. February 1, 2324. This morning, I gave birth to a healthy child. Perhaps that's a strange distinction to call her healthy, but after all I've endured to meet her, it matters. A brooding old lady type voice. I like that. I like that.
That she exists at all, against the odds, matters. I will call her Wilhelmina, after my late brother Wilhelm. I hope the law is kinder to her than it was to him. I hope for many things, untruthfully. That she be smart and shrewd. That she be strong, relentless, undeniable. Most of all, I hope for her to have a steel spine, that she does not bend when Halcyon would break her. That she would be stronger than I.
It's going to take forever. Yeah, it would. March 17, 2324. I must find Minnie a wet nurse. She demands to be fed throughout the day and night, and I simply cannot get a thing done. The nurse we need will be exceptional, smart, educated, of means. Minnie must have the best start if she's going to survive the pit of vipers that is Byzantium elite. Then, there is the matter of a governess. I can't watch this child constantly, not if I'm to do my work. How soon must I begin looking? Naturally, she'll have to be exceptional as well, and exceptional Byzantines don't exactly grow on trees. I'll persuade Harvey to investigate this for me. That man has a little else to do. All right, November 22, 2329. So this is 5 years later. I don't understand how anyone of ambition has time to keep a journal. I certainly don't. Yet here I am, indulging myself. Minnie's influence, no doubt. Her behavior concerns me. She's clingy, emotional. At 5, she should be starting to show some personality, not crying for her mother when I leave for another stint on Gorgon. This must be the fault of Maria, her governess. As Minnie certainly didn't learn this behavior from me. I'll have to fire the woman. It's clear she was not capable of instilling Millie with a correct understanding of how to behave. Harvey despairs of ever finding a governess who meets my preposterous standards. He and I went in circles on the issue for an hour, but he came around to my thinking eventually. Why wouldn't I want what's best for my daughter? Maybe I'll fire him too. Now, Harvey Ambrose is related, so that is a very clear kind of like separation of feelings of family, right? Like this person like compartmentalizes their worlds and lives in one of them more healthily than the other. Naming your healthy daughter Wilhelmina is simply begging for a vampire to whisk her away. Yeah, it is exactly that. I thought Henry was the father? Maybe. But the idea that Olivia is going to fire her husband is also very out of worlds. Return to root. Log in. Logs are... Okay. So another 8 years later, on June 5th. I'm at my wit's end with Minnie. At 13, she should have already mastered basic chemistry, physics, and mathematics, but she can barely handle long division. She struggles to remember the simplest equations and formulas, no matter how many times her governess raps her knuckles. Yeah. Ugh. Character. Ugh. By the time I was her age, I'd already made dynamite in my grandfather's laboratory. The only thing Minnie's making explode is my head. Her father asked why we don't just send her to boarding school, but I had abhorred the thought of her surrounded by those coddled idiots. More alarming still, she's begun to show an interest in romance serials and painting. She may have a strong grasp of color theory, and she shows some promise with watercolors, but surely that's the result of her education in spectroscopy and not any innate skill. What value has art, anyway? She gave me a truly dreadful painting of Francis this morning, and I haven't got a clue what to do with it. Perhaps I'll stuff it in my desk. I'll have a good laugh over it when she's grown and finally come to her senses. Oof. And then the final entry is from about a year later. Lucien appeared at the manor this morning. I thought him there for me, to finally wring my neck after our latest tiff. But no, it was much worse than that. He'd come to speak to Minnie. No need to guess why. She'd taken it upon herself to manage the household these last few years, since neither her father nor I had the time, or frankly inclination. Under her watch, the staff's productivity has increased 35%, whilst reducing our costs an astonishing 67%. We've saved tens of thousands of bits. Harvey tipped Lucien off, I expect. Now he wants to bring her on to help manage the Gorgon facilities, which I refused over Minnie's vociferous protestations. She cried after he'd left. I only wish that I could tell her why. Okay, so now there's some intrigue over these last couple years about either Harvey or Lucien that has turned Olivia against them. All right, and then let's log in as W. The search continues. Mother? Okay, so this is going to be Wilhelmina then. I take from these entries that Mother was severe with her editorial pen. This is but one version of her carefully curated and not the one I wanted to find. Where is her unvarnished stream of consciousness? Where is her spontaneous brilliance? The search continues. My efforts will invariably steer me to Gorgon. What then, Minnie? What then? What then, indeed? In the desk, is there... No, okay, so there is not a painting in the desk. As might have otherwise been expected. Shampoo bottles. You got shampoo bottles in a bathroom that doesn't have a shower? What, are you just putting shampoo in your hair and then giving yourself a swirly? How is this working? I don't know about all that. I'll take an Immunosol, though. Improved tech kit. Improved tech kit plus 10 on all of them. Hey. Seems useful, possibly. Especially if it's improved over the previous ones. Hidden shower. Oh, it could be like a recessed, kind of like a tile moves away. And then there's a shower sitting behind. Oh.
Join me for a drink, Miss whoever you are.
You sound a lot like Ellie.
So who the devil are you?
One character trait that Regina Hammerschmidt, the character that I am currently playing as, canonically had in the original is that she's just a sucker for she's just a sucker for cute girl, pretty, that kind of thing, you know. So I think our character is going to have to be just very, very forthcoming with information rather than the kind of like usual line of I'll tell you as much as you tell me kind of dialogue. Unlike real Ryan, exactly. Ryan, Captain the Unreliable.
You don't say. Well, make yourself at home, Captain. I'm sure we have much to discuss. Do you see that glowing chunk of space rock? That's Gorgon. My birthright, my burden, and the bane of my existence. I hate to drink alone, and this is my third. So join me in raising a glass to Gorgon.
Give a cheerful toast to Gorgon.
To Gorgon. May cosmic winds shepherd her to the nearest star. I'm Wilhelmina Ambrose, but you can keep it short and call me Minnie.
Nice to meet you too. Wow.
Now, what brings you to my house, gorgeous? I take it you didn't come all this way for the beverages, the starry skies, or the pleasant company.
I love that she turns slightly to the side and then Felix is inspecting her like extremely up close and way too personal. Oh, hi, wow. And then she just turns back. It's just... I'm here about a severed arm.
A severed arm? How positively ghoulish. You know this is a private residence, not a curio shop?
You can learn a lot about a person from their paws. So we've gone past oh god, what's the craniotomy? Not craniotomy. The head phrenology. We've gone past phrenology and we've gone to like perology. Those are some trustful paws in your face. I see that. You see the little large pockmarked acne scar that you have there? Means that you are destined for financial success in the future. I just keep an eye on that. Does the name Lucky Montoya mean anything to you?
Lucky Montoya is my personal freelancer. Fascinating man. Very brooding and theatrical. Always staring into space and twirling a bullet over his knuckles.
I could do that. The staring into space part, I mean. I'm still working on the bullet twirling thing.
I love you so much, Felix.
Something happened to him. Oh dear. I suppose that makes him my former freelancer now?
Any idea who might have wanted him killed?
You suspect foul play. Interesting. If we're being honest, I haven't given it much thought. What a time for his luck to run out. We were in the middle of something grand, and I really can't afford another setback.
Let me guess. You need yeah. Let me guess. You need someone to finish whatever Lucky started.
Excellent deduction. I can tell I found the right woman for the job.
Thank you.
How would you like to be my new freelancer? There's been a recent vacancy, and I think you're well suited to the job.
I could get used to people offering us a job at first glance. Usually they just squint at us all suspicious-like. Or reach for a pistol.
You offer work to everyone who breaks into your home? Must be some kind of Byzantine tradition I ain't know about.
I'm looking for someone rough around the edges. A gorgeous, dashing scoundrel type. Incidentally, someone good with their hands.
Gorgeous, Wilhelmina.
I like my employees well-groomed. Appearances are everything in high society.
Well, Minnie. How likely am I to wind up like your old freelancer?
The man lost an arm. What are the odds of that happening twice?
Didn't tell him about the arm.
Gorgon is a treacherous place, and my own family's involvement with it has been fraught. Allow me to lay out the facts, and you can decide for yourself if you want to be my chief investigator.
Love it.
My mother, Dr. Olivia Ambrose, worked for Spacer's Choice at the Gorgon Research Facility. She was brilliant, the top scientist in her field, until tragedy struck.
I'm not surprised. Spacer's Choice is one big accident waiting to happen.
I wish I could say otherwise. One day, Spacer's Choice shut down all research and evacuated Gorgon. Everyone had to scramble or risk getting left behind. It was chaos. Employees fled for their lives. Mother never made it home. I'm told she wasn't the only casualty that fateful day.
It must have been real hard on you, losing your mother all of a sudden like that. I'm sorry to hear it, ma'am.
Thank you. Ambrose ladies are supposed to be resilient to the unexpected, but this was especially hard on me. Mother's name has since been dragged through the mud. Spacer's Choice blames her for the collapse of Project Gorgon, and I just know they're lying.
It sounds like she was the corporation's patsy.
My thoughts exactly. Mother would not have allowed Project Gorgon to fail. Something happened on that asteroid, and my family took the fall for it.
What did you send Lucky to find?
The truth. Mother is gone, Gorgon is silent, and I deserve answers.
Answers to what end?
That will depend on what we learn. The scope of this cover-up is enormous. Whatever Spacer's Choice is hiding could bring ruin down on their heads. Or it could just be another dead end. We won't know till we look, will we?
This DLC is doing a really good job of setting up intrigue. Did I mention the severed arm? I thought I took every dialogue option that did not mention the severed arm, which is why I'm a little confused as to how she knows. Did I say, like, I'm here about a severed arm or something like that? That may have been what I did. I may have opened with it. You definitely mentioned it. Okay, fair enough. Say no more on the case? No. Tell me more about your mother, please.
I admired Mother, but we weren't close. She disapproved of everything about me, really. I couldn't measure up to her example. She didn't make time for us. I remember thinking that she never wanted a child, and never forgave me for being one. Naive and irresponsible as I was.
Is that why you had her declared legally dead?
I see you got a head start on the investigation. Exploring my home, reading my documents. What else, I wonder? You're very good at this, Captain.
Thank you.
I had my reasons for that legal formality. If you're interested in the job, you might just find out why.
Did you two ever get along?
We got close once. When I was a child, I enjoyed looking over Mother's shoulder, playing backseat chemist while she peered into a microscope. One day, she told me to leave before I broke something. Then, I got mad and broke something. Typical night in the Ambrose house.
Oh, that hurts my heart to hear, ma'am. My dad was real dedicated to his work, too, but he always let me help. Made me feel, I don't know, special. Like I had something to offer. I wish you could have had that with your mother.
Mother and Gorgon were made for each other. I had the misfortune to be stuck in the middle.
Sleep well, Redniak. Nice. What do you think happened on Gorgon?
I don't know. And Spacer's Choice won't say. They don't discuss anything that tarnishes their brand. Gorgon has a dark history. The project fell apart. Personnel were shuffled across the system. With Mother gone, now I'm all that's left.
Where's your father in all of this?
Father lost more than his job on Gorgon. I'll say no more than that. The asteroid may look like a glittering jewel, but I assure you the resemblance ends there. Gorgon is poisonous to the core. One might even say cursed. I need your help, Captain. Project Gorgon killed Mother and disgraced the Ambrose name, and no one has been held accountable. Spacer's Choice buried the past like a dirty secret.
Okay. So, what they've done here is imply that both of the parents are dead without stating that either of them are dead. Like, he lost more than his job. I'll leave it at that. You're probably to assume lost his life, but it's also possibly lost his humanity, was experimented upon, is now a giant monster that you're going to fight at the end of the DLC. Something like that. Unfortunately, I feel like I've spoiled myself by reading between the lines. Are you interested in justice, revenge, or both?
Neither. It's vindication I want. Whatever happened on Gorgon wasn't Mother's fault. I simply need the evidence to prove it. We're going to drag the truth kicking and screaming into the light. Even if it means bringing ruin and humiliation to Spacer's Choice. All the evidence I need should be in Mother's journal. You can find it in her office on Gorgon, in the heart of the old research facility.
Danger and corporate intrigue. Sounds like my kind of job.
I admire your enthusiasm. This manor has echoed with my own we, and I can feel you breathing new life into the walls. When you reach Gorgon, pack a weapon you trust. The corporate lockdown hasn't stopped the wilderness from squirming in through the cracks.
What can I expect to face on Gorgon?
I've never understood why, but Gorgon is teeming with marauders. They almost seem drawn to sorrow and misfortune. Then there's the test subjects, those who survived anyway. Ravenous creatures left behind like so much salvage.
What did you tell Lucky about this job?
I told him everything I've told you. Just the facts. Maybe a couple of harmless embellishments. Why?
I'm just trying to calculate the odds of the gig getting me killed.
It's sure to be 100% with that attitude. Still, you're smart to ask.
Okay.
Lucky spent most of our time together spinning a pistol around his index finger. Not sure he listened to any of my advice. But you won't let me down, will you, Captain?
I'll be careful.
There's a little saloon near Gorgon's landing pad, the Sprat Shack. Lucky was renting a room, so if you want to follow his trail, that would be the place to start.
The Sprat Shack? Hope they don't serve real sprats. There's a sprat-worst place on the Groundbreaker. Tried it once, and I was sick for a week.
Oh, you think maybe they got a little mascot? Like a sprat in a tiny hat?
Just so we understand each other, money is no object. I'm willing to squander the family fortune if you get me what I want.
Oh.
Between your payment and any salvage you happen across, you'll walk away from this rich enough to buy a mansion of your own. How does that sound?
So the kind of like play into the kind of the nature, the tone of the conversation would be music to my ears. But Regina don't really care about money that much. Regina's got that kind of like Captain Mal kind of like, it's a good day as long as we keep flying kind of attitude. So what's the catch? There's always a catch.
The catch? No one's ever done this before, and the only person who tried is a corpse. Believe me, that's enough. Here's your nav key, Captain. Safe travels.
Maybe you don't want to hear this from me, but I'm sorry about your mother.
Spacer's Choice should be the one apologizing, but thank you. Sincerely. A word of advice before you go, Captain. Trust no one. Mother's office is in the heart of the Gorgon facility. You're free to salvage anything that isn't nailed down. I only want what's mine.
Mysterious heiress, unexpected gainful employment. It's like something out of a detective serial.
Hey boss, what's our policy on getting to know our clients a little better? You think she'd appreciate some company?
Absolutely not, Felix. That would be extremely unprofessional of you. Specifically you. Absolutely not. Everything you feel is wrong.
Hey, if you say so. You're the boss.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Felix.
come on, Captain. What's a grand adventure without a little romance?
There still can be one. All right. Felix, do you have any new
boss?
words? No. Back to the ship is the only thing we can say.
How do you do?
Okay. The ability to go into new conversations. I think, given the fact that she responded to something that we found in a different room, I'm going to try and explore the different rooms before I continue with the conversation. So Pavati is Kaylee in this K-drama? 100%. Oh, 1000%. Mallet's trap, are we going in anyway? Yeah, exactly. Like, I believe that woman intends to shoot me again. Time to go for it. I mean, like, very specifically, that was... Didn't they explain exactly, like, no other plan? Like, we're dead otherwise, so trap's a better option.
Dear Wilhelmina, I hope this letter finds you well. No, it's too stilted. It sounds like I'm writing to request a loan. Dearest Wilhelmina, I regret to tell you... Law, no, that's worse. When have I ever called her dearest? She's my daughter. This should be easy. How can a mother not know how to talk to her own daughter? My love, I can no longer... For your safety, I must... Oh, hell. Even if she despises me for what I had to do, I should still be able to say goodbye. Minnie, I have to leave, and I don't intend to come back. I love you. I'm so sorry.
I mean, that's more closure than most people get. Doctor's orders is a Josh pistol. Okay, it's a Josh pistol with N-ray. It's fine. Grows in power the closer you are to death, just like a real doctor. I don't really get too up close and personal, so it's not really going to be super relevant for us. Cigarette lighter, jeweled ring, a pocket watch. Some energy cells over here, as well as energy cells. Make sure there's nothing under the bed. Say OH, this is going to be Olivia's master, master bedroom. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely Olivia's room. Alright. Is there anything we can even access from this side? Nothing whatsoever. What kind of doctors do they have in the star system? I mean, I'm kind of thinking of the kind of like veterinarian with a horse kind of situation. Doctor's orders. Just afraid I'm gonna have to absolutely murder you. Do no harm, and it would be more harm to let you live. Music box. Alright. Goodbye letter. Dearest mother and father, I've paced the halls of this gilded cage long enough. It's not her voice. I've paced the halls of this gilded cage long enough. Since you won't permit me to help the family business, I'm leaving to start a business of my own. Am I too young for such ambitions? Perhaps. But that is the risk you take when you fashion a daughter in your own image. Byzantium will welcome me with open arms. Won't that be a sensation? If I ever return, it'll be to claim my rightful spot at head of the family, Minnie. So we don't know what age she left at, right? It's at least past 13. Man, that looks a hell of a lot like a Firefly class right there. It just needs the kind of like bumblebee bottom. Some rum and something as well. Alright, so unless we're going downstairs to continue exploring, then we've kind of explored everything we can right now. So let's go back to Wilhelmina. I'm assuming she's had a doctorate kind of doctor. No, I like
Captain,
Olivia is probably
charmed as always.
Olivia is probably like super well educated, I imagine. Probably in the medical field as well. Like I'm imagining like biological sciences, probably. Tell me about that note you left in your bedroom.
Someone's been snooping around. Not that I mind. It reminds me why I hired you in the first place. For your keen eyes and scandalous disregard for privacy. When I left home, I wanted Mother and Father to know the conditions of my return. I would stroll through the entrance with my head held high, or not at all. I left this place with every intention of returning once the time was right.
Did you enjoy Byzantium?
When I arrived, I was the toast of the town. All fought for the honor of lighting my cigarettes. The attention was sublime. I opened a small firm to help young, impressionable heirs manage their family wealth. Business was good. For a while.
What happened to your business?
Gorgon happened. With Mother's downfall, so too fell my influence in society. I sold the business at a loss. Then I hatched a plan to restore the family name. That plan, as you're now well aware, is still in motion.
I want to know a little bit more about that timeline, but we don't get any questions about it. So the house was empty when you returned?
Yes. That wasn't part of the plan. Fall of Gorgon accelerated my schedule. I thought thought I would find success in Byzantium. Instead, I must look for redemption back where I began. Here, in these vacant halls.
That's all I needed to know. Thanks.
You reminded me of better times. I should be thanking you.
I had questions about your family.
The Ambrose family comes from old Earth money. We were pioneers, inventors, and chimerists. Always at the top of our field, never lagging behind. If there's anything else you'd like to know, speak on.
So her mother mentioned that she was synthesizing dynamite in her grandfather's laboratory. I wonder if that's possibly like a Nobel reference. Like Alfred Nobel, kind of. Your mother left an unfinished goodbye recording in the master bedroom.
A goodbye recording? I don't understand.
Let her figure it out.
Mother left that phonograph because she knew something awful might happen to her. She knew Spacer's Choice wanted her silence.
It's very hard to say the other one, but could she be trying to warn you?
It's possible. But in the end, she never found the words. We have to find that journal, Captain. And when we do, Spacer's Choice will rue the day they crossed my family.
You come from a talented heritage. What interests you?
If Mother and I shared anything, it was our love of chemistry. Chemistry is a desire to understand matter, the very foundation of our existence. What Ambrose could ignore such a tempting lure?
I read your mother's terminal. Her logs were interesting.
Ah, yes. I've scanned her old logs. But I'm afraid they haven't given up anything I didn't already know or suspect. If you have any questions, you can trust me to answer them. I gain nothing by leaving you in the dark.
God, I hope you don't turn out to be evil. Who's Lucian? Your mother didn't seem to approve of him.
Lucian was Mother's point of contact at Spacer's Choice. I'd call him high-ranking, but I don't think his job had a rank in the traditional sense. He once tried to recruit me to work on Gorgon, but of course Mother wouldn't hear of it. I never forgave her for that.
That was possibly why she was trying to warn you about it. Why didn't Spacer's Choice overrule her?
And risk losing one of the colony's greatest minds to Auntie Cleo? I think not. No. In their estimate, I'm certain Mother was worth 10 of me. They did the math, and I came up short.
What did you want to do on Gorgon?
A little bit of everything, I suppose. Manage personnel, keep an eye on budgets, see that goals and expectations were well defined. Chemistry may be my passion, but Spacer's Choice recognized my knack for administration. I would have taken the job and perhaps even enjoyed it.
Back to the topic at hand.
Did anything else in Mother's terminal glue your eyes to the screen?
You never mentioned that you enjoyed painting.
Of all the intrigue and mystery surrounding my household, that is what interests you.
Yeah?
I do enjoy painting. I haven't indulged in some time, but it's a pleasant enough diversion.
What would you call your style? Surreal? Expressionistic?
I honestly don't think I've been at it long enough to have a style. Painting is something I enjoy on the side, not something I chase to perfection. We Ambrose ladies have a way of ruining the things we love by committing ourselves to them.
Ooh, okay, so an extra throw out to possibly the fate of the husband. What's your favorite painting?
I've always been partial to Truth Emerging from the Well to Shame Mankind by Jerome. That painting speaks to me. It shows how nothing stays hidden for long.
Thank you for sharing.
Your curiosity is charming, but do remember to focus on the job at hand.
That's all about our terminal. I'll let you know if you
You
find
do
anything
that.
else.
And thanks for your attention to detail.
That's all for now. Back to my other questions.
Yes?
About the job.
Ask anything you like, Captain. It's nice to have a competent partner for a change.
Is there anything you aren't telling me?
I've told you everything I know. I trust you to investigate Gorgon and draw your own conclusions. If you can think of anything specific, all you have to do is ask.
We'll come back to this if I think of anything else.
Of course, my dear Captain. I
This-
look forward to it.
This house has seen better days.
Regrettable, I know. We used to have a staff to maintain the grounds. Not just auto mechanicals either. Real people doing real work.
Explain the fake fish in the fake pond.
Father loved his salt tuna. He was an avid fisherman, you know. But that was long ago. When they moved here from Byzantium, Mother told me he was heartbroken to learn there was no sport. So she bought him a pond for his sad, lonely amusement.
Do you visit the rock garden much?
Not as much as I used to. Who has time to slow their thoughts and bask in tranquility? I prefer staring out the window of my drawing room, brooding on matters outside of my control.
Woman after my own heart. What's with the Moon Man statue in your foyer?
Hideous, isn't it? I've been meaning to have that thing removed. Maybe jettisoned into the sun. Spacer's Choice agreed to double Mother's research budget if she subjected her family to product placement. I swear those eyes follow me wherever I go.
Couldn't you hire on a new staff?
It's hard to find good help, and I'm not quick to trust anyone who'd work for me. Present company excluded. I can worry about upkeep once my family name is restored. Until then, this manor is a base of operations.
That's all I need to know for now.
Very well. If there's anything else, you have my attention.
Be seeing you, Minnie.
Be sure and close the door on your way out. I feel a draft.
All right, that's... by my estimation, everything that we are going to find inside of this building at the moment. Unless I have completely spaced on something. No extra way out of this... Well, there is an extra way out of this room, but it isn't actually open. Yeah, okay. That's all we get from here. So now we just go to Gorgon. So this is effectively like one of those small ports that you just land on to interact with one or two small things. There are a couple of these over the course of the game. Didn't expect to relate to this woman so heavily. Mood. Big mood. Come on. I mean, they'll get on. Yeah, as soon as I hit the switch, they just teleport onto the ship, so I don't need to wait for them. All right, off to Gorgon. Brutally staring out of windows is my favorite pastime. Unfortunately, my windows are like above eye level, so I would need to like stand if I were to stare out of the windows in this room. But I do have a couch on my balcony, so that makes for a good sit and stare kind of sitch, you know. All right. So Gorgon.
Hello.
Thank you, Bob.
It is sandwich time.
Thank you.
I love you.
Can I also have a glass?
Yes.
Thank you. Gorgon landing pad. Alright, so we're in orbit above. Just as we go through the loading screen, I'm going to take a quick bite of the sandwich. I'm going to try and work my way through this while muting my microphone occasionally in order to do so.
This ain't a proper serial adventure without a narrator. How about this? Our intrepid heroes stepped foot on Gorgon, and in the distance, a drinking establishment beckoned.
Silly, thank you very much for the gift of a tier 1 sub to Pixel. Enjoy your emotes in chat and welcome to the Republic. You're not going to make this an ASMR mukbang? Unfortunately not. I think it might have the opposite of the auto-sensory meridian response for some people and be kind of more of a nails on a chalkboard kind of thing.